Good evening, everyone. Curry College Chief Weather Forecaster Joe Shock here. There's something still wrong with this camera. I cannot figure it out, and it's going to continue doing this in the video until I can figure out exactly how to stop this screen motion. I keep trying to pull it away and bring it closer, and it doesn't seem to make a difference. So we're going to try to live with this. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can do this in a way that this will not be occurring as much. But this video, let me try getting maybe not. I guess that's a little better. Being farther away from the screen may help. Excuse me. So anyway, we have a very interesting and an unusual situation setting up here regarding the severe weather. You can see this is the current SPC Day 4 outlook. You can see they've actually had this for a couple of days now. You can see the 15% probability for a Friday afternoon. Here is the 18Z NAM. We're going to take a look at some of the high-res NAM products. I'll take a look at obviously the severe weather over the next couple of days. So here's the forecast radar for Friday evening, 7 o'clock in the evening, excuse me. Let me try to get rid of that. You can see a 0Z Friday evening, the squall line that's going to be developing. This is the 18Z NAM. 10 p.m., it's starting to really get going here in eastern Ohio. Then we get into 1 a.m., and there is a significant squall line developing from southern Canada down, obviously, into Ohio and Indiana here, and this is pretty unusual since it's late February, but it's going to be happening likely. Now, let's take a look at how this is going to exactly set up here. Here's the surface cape, and this is absolutely amazing. Over 100, almost 1,700 joules of cape in through here, which is capable atmospheric potential energy. So, I mean, the atmosphere is going to be unstable in here, so this is really, really remarkable this far north this time of the year. Here we are, 10 p.m. You can see, obviously, again, we would lose some instability. And here are the temperatures at 10 p.m. And I mean, this is nuts. I mean, this is absurd. I mean, look at this. Mid and upper 60s in here. Are you kidding me? The record highs are in the mid and upper 60s. These are temperatures at 10 p.m. We're going to have low to mid 70s in through here on the day on Friday before this frontal passage comes through. But I mean, this is record-breaking heat that we're going to be dealing with on Friday ahead of this front. Here we are at 10 p.m. I mean, still, we're in the upper 50s. Actually, this is the dew point. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Here's the temperature, and here's the dew point. Look at these dew points. Upper 50s to around 60 degrees. I mean, this is insane. So there's going to be plenty and plenty of instability and obviously juice to work with here to fire up a squall line. And obviously here comes the cold front. Temperatures drop off quickly behind that, as you can see here, down into the 30s quickly behind the front. But this is a very, very interesting situation Friday night and on into Saturday. Here is what I got off of Twisted Data. This is the sheer Friday evening, and I'm going to try to get a little bit closer so we can focus in on here. But you can see this is the surface to 500 millibar wind, the surface being the red arrows, the red wind barbs here, and the 500 millibar being the blue barbs. So you can see there's very, very strong shear in this region. So, I mean, that looks really, really good for severe weather. You can see the mid-level shear 50 to 60 knots with low-level shear obviously around 10 knots. So there's a good, I don't know, I'd say a good 60 to 90 degrees of directional shear going on in this part of the region. So that really is going to fire up the threat of severe weather on Friday and then on into Saturday. This moves into the northeast. So again, you see a squall line like that coming in February, you're like, look out. And I think that this is going to be the beginning of what's going to be a very, very active time of severe weather in the southeast and eastern part of the United States, as we're going to have a mean trough position in the west and obviously a mean ridge in the east and all this warm and humid air coming up. This looks like a lot of 2011, believe it or not, when we started to see the severe weather really tick up around this time, especially as we got into April. We saw almost 800 tornadoes in the month of April in the United States. So I think over the next couple of weeks and going later on into the spring, we're going to see increased threats of severe weather, and I think potentially significant severe weather outbreaks in the eastern half of the United States, again, with all that cold being available in the west. As things start ejecting out in all this warm and humid air, things can evolve. But again, it looks like our first severe weather outbreak of the season, at least substantial, at least this far north, will be this Friday and into Saturday. And I would not be surprised that, given the amount of shears in here, we have a relatively low cape, but the cape seems to be getting a little bit more and more impressive with each model run. But I would not be surprised to see potentially some rotating supercell thunderstorms, low top convection within the squall line Friday night and obviously Saturday. And this is just going to march east and maybe even maintain itself coming east, which is very, very unusual given it so early in the season, but this may maintain its intensity, which the European says, all the way to the coast on Saturday afternoon, and then get cool behind that. But we have a lot of record heat over the next couple days in this part of the region, so there's going to be plenty of fuel to be working off of. Thank you for watching.